Is TikTok's time in Taiwan running out? The government opens an investigation into suspected illegal business practices. North Korea says it's launched a spy satellite to provide real-time information on South Korea. Also ahead,
I'm Yin Khvat, and I've come to Tainan to find out why an indigenous group is celebrating a battle against the government, but why they're also worried about the road ahead.
Plus, a rogue balloon mascot has generated hilarity on the internet after floating away from a parade in Kaohsiung. But it's not so funny for the event's organisers. A warm welcome to TaiwanPlus News. I'm Yin Khvat. Taiwan's government is investigating whether the Chinese app TikTok has been operating an illegal subsidiary in the country. This follows reports that a company named ByteDance Taiwan was set up in November. Sam Robbins has this story.
The company behind one of the world's biggest social media platforms might have an office in Taiwan. ByteDance operates TikTok. A firm called ByteDance Taiwan Joint Stock Company was set up in November in the central city of Taichung. Chinese companies need government approval to operate in Taiwan, leading to suspicions that the platform has been operating illegally here. The owners of the space seemed unaware of the business's operation. Responding to the reports, the Taichung city government said the company had registered as a local firm several years ago and had only changed its name to ByteDance recently. It said no links to China had been disclosed. Taiwan's top cross-strait agency has launched an investigation. Taiwanese government workers are banned from installing TikTok on their phones because of security concerns. Legislators from the ruling Democratic Progressive Party, or DPP, have been increasingly vocal in their criticism of the app.
抖音在你没有开手机的时候，在看你所有一条一条的讯息耶，这个是实质上会发生，而且正在发生的。
Legislators fear that the app may be used as part of China's ongoing information warfare against Taiwan, which Beijing claims as its own territory. Experts have pointed out that the problem is larger than TikTok.
因为所有的平台都有的可能性 ，YouTube 或者是 Facebook、IG 都有可能有那种。
TikTok is coming under increasing pressure internationally. The European Union is currently investigating its influence on children. US lawmakers are proposing banning the platform. In Taiwan, the future of the app is uncertain. As Taiwan gradually counters information warfare, TikTok's time could be running out. Leon Lian and Sam Robbins for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwanese iPhone maker Foxconn could be fined for an unauthorized investment in a Chinese chip maker. Foxconn said on Friday it would sell its stake in China's Tsinghua unit group, but that's not enough to avoid penalties. Reuters is reporting that Taiwan's government is likely to fine Foxconn soon over the investment. It cited a source who said the company could face a fine of up to around $800,000 US. Taiwan's government can ban investments in Chinese companies on national security grounds or to protect industrial development. A bridge in the northeastern county of Yilan has opened to traffic after the old one collapsed in 2019. Sally Jensen has this story.
It has been 2.5 years since the Nanfang-ao Bridge in northeastern Taiwan collapsed, killing 6 people and injuring 12. An investigation into the disaster had found the bridge was not properly maintained. Now it's been rebuilt. At the bridge's opening ceremony, President Tsai Ing-wen said the new structure would boost the local economy, improve traffic and attract tourists.
这几年来，在大桥重建的过程中，充满了考验。除了对旧桥的拆除、新桥的设计、重建，而且还要面对我们疫情的挑战。
The reconstruction of the 800-meter-long bridge cost $28 million US. Taiwan's transport ministry says it will last for 100 years. But the Taiwan International Ports Corporation, who was responsible for overseeing the bridge that collapsed, can't guarantee it will be able to carry out checks on the new bridge.
现在还在谈可能将来我们现在港务公司接手之后呢，我们可能也会互委托请公路总局来维管。 是还是由他们自己去维护啦，因为我们的人力是严重的不足。
This new bridge may have lightened the mood for many in this small fishing town, but concerns over its future safety continue to weigh large. Asnaya Zhou and Sally Jensen for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan will dissolve 6 private high schools. That comes as student numbers decline due to the country's low fertility rate. The Education Ministry will liquidate the schools and their assets will be given to other schools or to the government. Taiwan is set to have the world's lowest fertility rate by 2035. Schools and universities are already facing financial difficulties due to a lack of students. North Korean state media says the country has successfully launched a test spy satellite. This satellite is designed to provide Pyongyang with real-time information on South Korea. The test is the latest in a string of increasing provocations by the North, Bing Wang reports.
An important final phase. This is how North Korea's media described the launch of a test spy satellite on Sunday. The technology it carries is a step towards providing North Korea with real-time satellite imagery, which officials there say will be ready by April next year. Shortly after takeoff, Pyongyang released several still images of the satellite's launch and aerial photos of the South Korean cities of Seoul and Incheon. On the same day, North Korea fired 2 ballistic missiles into the sea off its east coast. So far this year, the country has fired 65 missiles, a record number, and one designed to provoke international reactions. The latest missiles landed in waters between the Korean peninsula and Japan. Both Seoul and Tokyo were quick to denounce the moves by Pyongyang.
NSC 상임위원들은 북한의 탄도미사일 발사는 유엔 안보리 결의에 대한 명백한 위반이자 한반도의 긴장을 고조시키고 영내 평화와 안전을 위협하는 중대한 도발로 규정하고 이를 강력히 규탄했습니다.
関連する安保理決議に違反するものであり、我が国として北朝鮮に対し、北京の大使館ルートを通じて厳重に抗議し、強く非難をいたしました。
South Korea, Japan, and the US said these launches significantly increased tensions, both on the Korean peninsula and in the region. Military analysts say Sunday's launches were in response to a document released by Japan outlining the country's new defense strategies. The positions taken in the report are considered Japan's biggest shift in its defense posture in 66 years. The country is set to double its defense budget to 2% of its GDP, spending roughly $320 billion between now and 2027. At around $73 billion a year, this will make Japan's annual defense budget the 3rd largest in the world, after the United States and China.
我が国を取り巻く安全保障環境、極めて急速に厳しさを増していると感じています。我が国周辺のこの国地域においても核ミサイル能力の強化、急速な軍備増強、力による一方的な現状変更の試みなど、こうした動きが一層顕著になっています。
North Korea's spy satellite launch marks a troubling milestone in its military development. Between the numerous missile launches and upgrades in spy tech, tensions around the region will continue to rise as the country continues to strengthen and broaden its offensive capabilities. Ricky and Bing Wang for TaiwanPlus.
After fighting for years to be officially recognized, the Saraya, a Taiwanese indigenous group, is now celebrating a court victory that paves the way for them to receive that recognition. But it's still not clear whether they will receive the same rights and benefits as Taiwan's other indigenous groups. Louise Watt reports.
Singing an indigenous celebration song, these children are rejoicing over a recent court victory for the Saraya people. A decades-old law that led to their exclusion from the official list of indigenous tribes has just been deemed unconstitutional. And the court has given the government 3 years to rectify it.
这个我们已经争取了20-30年哦，其实心里面是很高兴啊，很高兴，因为毕竟我们长期以来被忽略、被漠视、被边缘化，这个长期以来都是这样啊。那你在民宿上是打沙泥然后。
The Saraya are hopeful they will get the recognition they deserve after years of having to explain who they are.
我讲我西亚雅族，可是很多人都说啊，西亚雅族是什么？就是很多人都只有在课本上面听过，可是不知道这是什么族。
The Saraya are in school history books because they used to dominate the land in this part of western Taiwan. But their language and culture faded after the arrival of Han Chinese in the 17th century. Today, there are at least 10,000 Saraya people living in Taiwan. After the celebrations, some of them meet with their lawyer to discuss the judgment and next steps. Taiwan's government put out a call in the 1950s for indigenous groups to register for official recognition. The Saraya failed to do so. Many of them said they didn't know they had to, but they've subsequently seen how recognition has benefited other groups. Taiwan officially recognizes 16 indigenous groups, and that status brings privileges such as scholarships and subsidies, efforts to preserve language and culture, and the ability to vote for indigenous legislators. But despite their victory in court, the Saraya's lawyer says it doesn't guarantee the group will eventually receive the same benefits as the others.
在取得身份这部分，绝对是西亚族人一定可以取得的。在这个身份之后有多少权利，可能才是之后政治攻防的重点。
Most of Taiwan's recognized indigenous groups are from more isolated, mountainous areas. And the government has argued for years that the Saraya and other Plains people covered by the lawsuit are now too assimilated with Taiwan's majority Han Chinese population to deserve the same kinds of protections, and that they would take scarce resources away from others. The government official dealing with indigenous affairs says sorting out the issue will be complicated. There are about 10 groups covered by the lawsuit, collectively referred to as the Pingpu.
不是很短时间就可以达成一定的共识，所以用3年的时间来做修法或者是立法。所以我们会利用这3年的时间，逐步盘点平埔族群他们客观的现状是什么，然后才决定他应该有的各种权利应该怎么样的保障。
But for some Saraya, recognition has come too late.
很多祖辈都等不及他的身份获得证明，他就过世，这是我们比较可惜，有些长辈都看不到。
前竞争都可以，对不对？对。
But their ancestors' traditions are surviving. As the Saraya wait for the government to make changes to the law, they are proudly passing on crafts and their way of life, happy that they're a step closer to having their culture recognized and their identity. Howard Zhang and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.
A renegade balloon mascot is blowing up online. The balloon's escape from a parade and 17-kilometre journey has generated a wealth of jokes and memes. But as John Van Trieste reports, for the parade's organisers, the rogue balloon could end up being no laughing matter.
A great escape caught on film. This balloon float is Open Chan, a mascot for the 7-Eleven convenience store chain. It had been on display during a parade in the southern city of Kaohsiung, but in all the excitement, Open Chan got a bit carried away. It only took a gust of wind to pull the inflated mascot free from its tethers. That was the beginning of a sweeping 17-kilometre journey high above the harbor city. But what goes up must come down. The balloon was eventually found burst on the ground. This mishap, and the fact that another balloon popped on the parade route, has caused more than a few outbursts online. While many people on social media found it extremely uplifting, the incident could end up being quite deflating for the parade organizers. Open Chan's unscheduled flight took the balloon into restricted airspace around Kaohsiung's airport. If the airport decides to take legal action, the organizers may have to pay a fine of nearly $50,000 US. But for now, what will happen next over the balloon intrusion is still up in the air. Eason Chen and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Coming up is a lack of pitches holding Taiwan back from being a proper footballing nation. We'll take a look after the break. Plus,
I'm Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus, and I just finished the half marathon event at the Taipei Marathon. I'm going to tell you about it once I get the feeling back in my legs. Today is the day. We're going on a date.
Yes!
Today. You get a girlfriend, you get a boyfriend, you bring them here, you take them on a date.
Hey, why is it stopping? Hey! Go!
Hunting school! We're going to become hunters!
有时候还是要靠点运气啊。
It's much easier than I think.
Check this place out.
Yeah, it's 红毛喽。
So this is the hot spot. It's gorgeous. Hey, that's a good one.
Follow me to Taiwan every Saturday, 8 p.m. on TaiwanPlus.
For more stories from here in Hangzhou, Taiwan, and around the world, download the TaiwanPlus app.
Welcome back. You're watching Taiwan Plus News. Thailand's military is searching for 33 sailors still missing after their corvette sank overnight in the Gulf of Thailand. The HTMS Sukhothai suffered an engine malfunction and went down in heavy seas just before midnight. Most of the 106 people aboard were rescued before the ship sank. 3 Navy vessels and 2 helicopters are involved in the search for the remaining 33. Thousands of Argentinians have gathered in Buenos Aires to celebrate their national team's dramatic victory in the Football World Cup. Argentina beat France on penalties at the final in Qatar after tying 3-3 in extra time. It's the third time the South American country has won football's top prize. Their last victory at the tournament was in 1986. Across the country, fans expressed their joy with the result.
Viví ya desde Francia 98, que empecé a ver mundiales, y la verdad que hoy estaba compartiéndolo con mis amigos y es una locura, es una alegría que todavía no caigo, compartirlo con amigos, con familiares, la verdad que es algo que no me voy a olvidar nunca, venir acá con la gente, esto une a todo el pueblo y la verdad que nada, contento, muy feliz, no tengo palabras.
A man has been arrested for killing a Formosan black bear. His detention comes after a video emerged on social media of 2 men carrying the carcass of a black bear on a motorcycle in the southern city of Pingdong. 5 other people connected to the case have been released on bail. The Formosan black bear is an endangered species native to Taiwan, with only around 600 left in the wild. They are protected by law.
片中的人也都已经全数到案。目前受害雄只作案工具以及参与人数及参与情节等等那均有待厘清，严信民众设有违反野生动物保育法，犯罪嫌疑重大，并有羁押的必要。
The Football World Cup is one of the most watched sports events on the planet. While people in Taiwan were glued to their screens over the last month, they supported teams like Japan, Argentina, Brazil, France, Germany, England and Spain, any but their own, as the national team did not qualify. As our reporter Jaime Ocon explains, one of the reasons Taiwan struggles to develop top players is a lack of facilities.
各位，最近世界杯有没有看？都在看哦。球没有人传回来，敌人才会动。
This match is part of the country's annual collegiate tournament, where
of players from all across Taiwan converge in the capital to compete. The team in blue is from National Zhengzi University, and they came away with a hard-fought win.
Yeah, we could have won big if I had taken good advantage of the chances that I had, especially in the very first half. Yeah.
Throughout the tournament, dozens of matches are played on this single field. Players say that compared to other sports, it's harder to find a place to play and train, especially during the football season.
如果想要踢足球的话，就真的很难找场地踢。所以我觉得这个原因比较大。
我觉得其中一个原因应该是因为台湾的足球场地很少，然后而且篮球场比较多，所以就大家方便就都打篮球。
A professional football pitch is one of the biggest fields in sports, which makes it hard to find a big enough space in crowded Taiwan. And local weather can be very unstable, so many professional fields have to use special turf that can withstand the elements. This is one of only a handful of football fields here in Taiwan that is actually certified by sports authorities. Now, players across Taiwan are pushing for the government to invest more in fields like these in the hopes that more people will get a chance to play the beautiful game.
因为台湾很多地方都不能踢球，像假如你在某个国小或国中的操场踢，然后会有人在旁边走来走去，然后足球就很容易飞来飞去，然后你就很怕。
Lawmakers are now debating with the Education Ministry on how to increase the funding to establish more football fields.
总共加起来，总共才40座，可以竞技的球场，这个社区足球场太少了。这20年来，我们增加了多少足球场？
目前我们地方政府的足球场地呢，目前是45处了。
But back on the field, some officials say that the lack of facilities isn't the main issue. They say Taiwan not making the World Cup or not producing many professional players has more to do with the sport's popularity.
因为确实台湾的足球场就是没有那么多，但我想最主要的原因是因为我们的足球可看度没有那么的高，就是相对于像我们看世界杯，甚至是可能韩国、日本他们的一般的联赛，相对来说就没有那么的精彩。
But that wasn't the case for this match, where the NCCU team secured a nail-biting win to continue their path to the top 8. For Akai, it's not about the facilities or about the audience, but more about the players' passion.
Well, after I came to Taiwan, one of the things that I noticed is people do not take football seriously. Football is about attitude. When you enjoy what you're doing, you become better.
It's this spirit that players in Taiwan will need to not only help them win local tournaments, but also put Taiwanese football on the world map. Andy Xue and Jaime Ocon for TaiwanPlus.
The 2022 Taipei Marathon took place early on Sunday. Runners braved cold conditions to run in both full and half marathons. Among them was TaiwanPlus reporter Leslie Liao.
It's almost 7 in the morning right now, and I'm outside Taipei City Hall. It is cold with the temperature at around 8 degrees Celsius. But despite the chilly conditions, thousands of people are here to take part in the Taipei Marathon. Runners can participate in full or half marathon races. I'm about to do the half marathon. Let's go.
The Taipei Marathon was first organized in 1986. But between 1990 and 2000, the event was suspended due to construction of the city's metro system. It resumed in 2001 and has been held annually since. It's one of 2 road races in Taiwan recognized by the World Athletics Sports Federation. Every year, runners follow the same routes. Starting at Taipei City Hall, the 42-kilometer full marathon follows a path around the heart of the city. The 21-kilometer half marathon course is similar, but has an earlier turnaround point. Both races end at Taipei Arena in the city center. Around 28,000 people participated in this year's event. 9,000 of them were running full marathons, while the other 19,000 ran the half marathon. In the lead up to this year's event, one of the main concerns was how the weather would turn out. The event coincided with a cold front, which drove temperatures down to between 7 and 9 degrees Celsius. Rainy weather in the days ahead of the race didn't help matters either. Even so, chilly conditions didn't give the participants cold feet.
还好今天天气还不错，因为前2天都还在下雨，然后今天天气又很冷。不过我觉得今天就是天气还不错。
我其实昨天一直在犹豫，我今天要出门吗？对，因为太冷了。
对，今天跑起来很舒服因为我觉得天气冷总比天气热好。
There were cash prizes for the fastest runners. The fastest man and woman in the full marathon event got almost $27,000 each. The winner of the women's marathon actually broke a course record and got $60,000.
Now, I didn't win any cash today, but I did get this shiny medal, this big towel, and this souvenir bag. That's nowhere near worth as much as the $60,000 grand prize. But in a race filled with so many people and so many top-tier runners, I'm just glad I finished. Damon Lin and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus.
A Taiwanese photographer has won 9 gold medals at the New York Photography Awards. Casper Wang won the prizes for his images of Taiwanese temples and religious festivals. The competition is open to photographers from around the world. Wang took first place in the festival, religion and culture categories. He says he uses photography to introduce Taiwan to the world. Thank you for watching TaiwanPlus News. Finally today, we leave you with images of Christmas Wonderland at Garden by the Bay in Singapore, with light and sound shows attracting thousands of visitors. I'm Yin Khvat. Take care and see you next time.